Hello, everyone, and welcome to Around South Jersey. My special guest tonight is the board president, public relations director, head custodian, salesperson, marketing of this hot dogs, and then he it's part of the sweeping up at the end of the night.
Sometimes,
It's
yeah.
Newell Branin. Newell, it's good to see you.
Thanks. Good to see you too.
Well, Newell, I got to tell you, was it last Friday? I think we saw each other, right?
Yes.
Anyway,
Friday before New Year's.
A friend of mine, Denise Arrigo, and I were going over to the Town Tavern, one of our favorite restaurants, to get dinner, and the parking lot was packed. I mean, there was like one spot left. I mean, and they have a big parking lot. It was jammed. So I go in, and later on I'm sitting down, and I see Newell. And, I finally got his attention, and then explained to me, to the people, why that place was so jammed that night, Friday night.
Well, my shift and our opposing day shift had our Christmas party, so we took up half of it, maybe. But the food's good, it's good service, and it's a good spot to go.
Yeah, but what's the best thing about it? You didn't even know about it.
Well, the salad bar and the dessert bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't forget that.
Yes, it is. And as I had mentioned, it is truly one of my favorite restaurants. And the other factor is it's owned by the Achille family. They also own the Golden Pigeon, and now they own the Morris River Diner, and they're really nice people. And I've discovered if you're Turkish, you can cook, because Queen's two restaurants, they're wonderful Turkish people. In fact, Yilmaz is in Turkey now, enjoying some vacation time. Okay. And it is interesting, though, Newell, as we talk about that factor, and later on when we do a little segment on Millville Memories, and you're going to make me answer trivia questions.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Those days, well, not those days, but certainly in the 80s and 90s, it was the Greeks. I mean, Neptune and, the different diners here. Kerry Redaglu's parents owned the Queen Diner at that time. And the Greek people, and even George, who had the Morris River Diner, he was from Greece. So it went from the Greek people, who I thought, oh, my God, the Olympia, they still do a fabulous job there, and they're Greek. But from the Greek people to the Turkish people, who I also think do a great job cooking. So I'm happy they know how to cook, because I don't cook. So if it's not a place I can go and get some food, then at least I get to know all the Turkish people in Cumberland County. And I tell you truthfully, I like every single one of them. They're really, really nice people. But anyway, the Millville Soccer Association, we are now in the first of the year, past January 1st. Tell us where we are and what's going on, Newell.
Yeah, well, we're preparing for the spring recreation season coming up. And spring travel season as well. But our registration's open right now for the spring season. You can see our different age groups and the prices. We are still one of the least expensive youth organizations around South Jersey, youth soccer organizations. Some of them are probably easily double our fees, but you can see in the different birth years. So basically a 2017 and 2018 birth year is $45, and the 2015 and 2016 birth years are $65, and 2008 to 2014 is $80. Now, we are accepting, we're trying to expand the availability of a recreation program to high school age. So we are accepting the older U16 through U18 age to allow them a chance to play. There's some people that just want to play rec. They didn't want to go to high school. They didn't want to go onto the high school teams. Or maybe they do, and they just want to use it for some
extra practice.
Yeah, extra practice, pick-up games during the off-season. Maybe they don't do another sport. They just want to continue getting touches on the ball through the spring, because in high school it's only played in the fall. So we're allowing that. Right now we're just in that age group, so U16 through U18. We're just taking sign-ups for it. We're not charging yet because we tried to do it last season in the fall, but we realized we're competing with high school.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was we only got a small amount that was interested. So in turn, then we had to refund everybody, and it was a paperwork nightmare. But so we're just seeing what the interest is and taking the sign up. So if you're interested and you're in that age group, you can just go to our website and sign up. And at the end of the registration period, if there's enough interest, then there will be an amount due before the season starts. But for everybody else, basically U5 through U15, you can go to our website and sign up in the different age groups that we just talked about. And regular registration is open through January 31st. And before any late fees are due. And that may be extended. We'll see how the number of registrations come in. But there may be a late fee added through February, and some date in February before we pick teams. And that date will be determined. It's usually the third or fourth week of the month. And our registration season will begin in mid-March, usually the third Saturday. But we'll see how the weather is. Since we haven't had any snow yet, I'm afraid that we're going to have a lot of snow late in the season.
Oh, no.
So that'll cause some issues and delays, but we'll see. We can't make any determination or schedules yet until that happens. But towards the end of February is when we start picking teams. So then you'll be getting calls from your coaches and telling you what team you're on, when your practice days are, and then when you start practice for the season that'll begin in the middle of March, weather pending.
So the season starts when?
March. I'm not sure what
Towards the end of March.
It's the middle of the third week,
Okay.
third Saturday. Travel season will start the first weekend of March. So girls travel starts the first Saturday, and boys travel starts the first Sunday. So they start a little bit earlier, and they'll go on through both divisions. Recreation and travel will play on through the end of May. The regular season should end, again, weather pending, the weekend before Memorial Day weekend. Travel teams, though, will continue. There'll be tournaments that each team may participate in and some other events that go on during the summer. But recreation does end the week before Memorial Day.
Right. Well, that's good. How many kids do you usually have in the league, approximately?
The last few seasons, since COVID, we've had about 330.
That's great.
And that includes travel and rec. So, and right now there's it's a little bit more recreation players than travel, but that fluctuates from time to time. We have new teams and that get added in the travel season or in the travel division. This past year, we were sad to see a couple of our older teams end their run. They were both high school teams, as the Millville Storm and the Millville Pride, but their girls all aged out, so they were done. So that took off a couple of our travel teams. But we have a lot of younger recreation players, so that's a good sign for the future.
Yeah, that is.
And hopefully that they continue playing until they age out. And it doesn't matter. They don't have to go to travel. They can continue playing recreation until at least U15. But if we have enough high school age, that they can continue until they're U18. And who knows, by the time, if a 5-year-old now, by the time they're 18, we may extend that even more. Because travel goes to U19. They can, they can play until U19. Yeah, because they're technically 18-year-olds. So, but depending on when their birthday is, they could be 19-year-old by the time the season ends in the spring. But so along with the registration fees that I mentioned, there is a fundraiser fee. So, and that's per family. We have a raffle that is held at the end of the season, every season. And we add a $50 fundraiser fee to the registration. So if you have 1 or 3 kids that are signing up, you're only getting charged that once. And then we hand out the raffle tickets during the season. You get 10 raffle tickets. They're $5 a piece, so it's worth $50. And they'll be distributed. You sell them. You keep the money and just turn in the ticket stubs. So you've made your money back. So you, in the end, did not lose any money. We've made our money, and then we give out the prize at the end of the season. And it's different things. And we haven't 100% determined what we're having this season yet. We're still working on that. A few more details, but we're trying to do something different than what we've had, and try not to make it too tiring.
I know somebody that runs the soccer facility now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandson.
Okay.
That's his new job. He's in charge of the union.
The union. Okay.
In fact, it was funny. One day, going to see my little grandchildren play, I was behind the Subaru. That I didn't realize it's Subaru Stadium or something. Because the union came down.
Yes.
They had their Subaru, and I'm following.
Yeah, on Family Fun Day, we try to get them to come down. They have a couple inflatable games that they play. And you kick the ball around, speed kick, shoot at some targets, and then they have a inflatable field that they set up and have they use an oversized inflatable ball that they play. But yeah, it's if you've ever been to the stadium, it's almost the things that they have on the plaza outside of the stadium. They just pack them up and then bring them to wherever they're having an in-person event. And they give out prizes as well, and sometimes jerseys and discount cards, and some of their sponsors that they're involved in, and they'll give out freebies.
That's nice. It really is. It was neat to see them come down. Boy, soccer is very, very popular with the kids, isn't it? Yeah, it has been, and it's growing. It's still growing, and having national teams that are doing well, having a local team, a regional team doing well has helped the cause all the way. So they get to see the local team or go to the game. And mentioning that, we're a youth partner with the Philadelphia Union. We have been for since their inception, since they've started 10 years or more. And we offer discounted tickets to anyone. You don't have to be a member of our club. But if you want to go to a game, we have tickets to every home game, and we have the option to have tickets to their playoff games. Oh, wow. So last year they went all the way to the end, so we had tickets. In fact, we had 10 tickets to every playoff game last season. So we were able to sell them at a discounted price to people that wanted to go, and they were able to get the opportunity to see a game at a lower cost. And our tickets our seats are, if you're familiar with a soccer field, it's about just above the penalty arc on one side and about halfway up, and they're aisle seats. That's nice. So they're pretty good seats. I think I like sitting there. I go to a game or two during the season, and then we have a group night as well. So sometime in the late summer, we'll have a group night, and we sell discounted tickets, and we have a whole section that's just us. That's neat. Our kids from the league will have an opportunity to do either on-field or pre-game opportunity with the team. Oh, that's neat. So we've done different things, from being ball kids, where they have a spare ball on the sidelines. We've had a halftime game during the game. At halftime, they'll play a mini game on the field. We've carried banners, the team banners, and we've also hung out on the players' bench during pregame warm-up. So you get to see the players right on the field level. Sometimes the players come over and talk to the kids. And so that's an opportunity that you don't usually get to do. So, and that's all part of the group tickets. So depending on how many we have or what our opportunity
that we're doing that year. Sometimes we'll have all the kids that are involved, or even some of their families, because sometimes we need some adults involved for escorts.
Yeah.
And but we'll get them as many as we can get involved in whatever the event that we're holding.
That's fantastic. We're talking with Newell Branin, who's the president of the Millville Soccer Association, located at 1400 McCafferty Boulevard. Is that what that says?
Yep.
And it's in honor of Bill McCafferty, who was the the city engineer. Wonderful man. In fact, Arlene, his wife, joins us a lot of times on our Facebook program, and she worked with the city, and she's a sweetheart, just one of the nicest ladies. She and Hattie Ayers and many people who worked with me on the third floor at City Hall when I happened to have the honor of being the mayor. They were special people, very, very wonderful to work with. We'll be back with Newell Branin to talk about some things. He's got some questions for me, some trick questions, some things like that. So we'll see if I know any of them or at all. And we'll do all that right after these messages.
I'm Brian Lankin, third generation business owner, Al Shoes. Been at the same location since 1961, our 61st year. We specialize in work boots, work shoes, orthopedic shoes, baby walking shoes, and school shoes. We go up to a men's 17 and a woman's 13. It's $5 off 25 and 10 off 100 if you mention that you've seen this.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
Complete Care Health Network has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high-quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or an email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network. Ready when you are.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Jim Quinn along with Newell Branin, and we were talking about registration for the Millville Soccer Association that's coming up now. It's actually now and through the end of the month, so they can go online.
Yep, go right to our website at millvillesoccer.com. Real simple, and just click on login at the top right of the page, or the top of the page if you're on a phone, and follow the prompts to either sign in if you had an account already or create a new account and just answer the questions.
That's easy.
Yeah, it is real simple.
Yeah. And as Noel said, they have that over 300 and some kids that participate, and that is wonderful. And soccer, I saw a show recently where they were asking parents would they prefer their child to play soccer or football, and overwhelmingly they were saying soccer. And of course, the incident that happened to the professional football player where he was almost killed on the field, it is a very difficult sport to play, and I give the kids and adults and everybody else that play soccer or football a lot of credit. Soccer's not easy either, but it's not that vicious contact where you're getting banged in the head all the time and all the things that goes
I mean, any injuries can happen at most any sport. But one thing with soccer is the equipment cost is really low compared to some other sports.
Yeah, especially
I'm not putting any of them down. In football, you got a lot of equipment that you have to have. You have to have that protection. And baseball and softball, you have, there's quite a bit of expensive equipment.
Yeah, right.
Bats are probably the most expensive, gloves, and then the helmets. But in soccer, all you need to do is, a pair of shin guards and a ball and cleats. And there are low or inexpensive deals out there for the beginner.
Wow, that's nice.
I know Dick's Sporting Goods usually has a deal that's, I don't know what their fee is now. They're different depending on the brand, but they offer a beginners that comes with the ball, cleats, and shin guards, and it's a really low fee.
That's good.
And then we try to direct people to do that all the time. And they also offer online coupons for them each season. So if you go to their website or have their app, you will find those coupons pretty easily. And I'm sure they do that for other sports as well, because they are involved in a lot of youth sports.
Right. It's convenient, too. It's close by as well.
Yeah, a little bit further. It was better when it was in Millville.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Although, I'm telling you, folks, that what they're going to be putting in the Dick's Sporting Goods store, the kids and the families are going to love it. I took my grandchildren and my son. We went to this place in the Deptford Mall, which is similar. Holy cow, it's got everything. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
if it pans out and they have what they said that they have in their other ones, it'll be a nice spot.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. So at least families won't have to go far. It's amazing.
Right.
It really is.
That's a key thing.
It's really neat. Well, anyway, he had some trivia. He didn't tell me this. He said, I got trivia questions for you. I said, okay, go ahead. Ask. We're switching over a little bit now to Millville Memories, and whenever we mention that, I want to tell you, we always think about Terry Pangburn, who was one of the originators, along with Mr. Mitchell and Newell, of the Millville Memories program. And,
Millville Memory Lane is a Facebook group. Keith actually started it. Keith Mitchell started it in August 2011.
Wow,
but he started the group, and then he reached out to us, Terry and myself, and asked us if we wanted to be involved, and we both said absolutely. And I've known Terry before that, but not so much since we've been involved with Millville Memory Lane. And we always talked online, and whether it was in the group or private messages, and we went back and forth about ideas and certain things and questions that I had, because I'm always learning.
Well, you're younger, too.
Yeah, so I always had to use him as a resource, and he was a great resource
he's amazing.
for information.
He's an amazing man.
So always trying to tap into the information that he left us on the group, because it's still there. That way we can use that as basically a library.
Yeah,
we can just refer to and confirm our thoughts or any of the other discussions or questions that come up. So we have 8,300 and more members that are on that group.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really expanded, and we're just trying to keep that the legacy going. So, if you have any interest in the history of Millville or any other information that you're wondering about the city, you can just click on the group and join, or read in some of the discussions and posts, and get involved. If you have some information that you think we need to know, you can post it as well. So out of that, I do have some questions. So we'll ask one. We'll see if anybody can answer it. We'll start out easy. So one of them is, the first one I'll throw out there is, what body of water was first dammed in 1776 to provide power to a milling company? And this is in Millville. That's pretty easy.
That is, yeah.
But some people might not know. So what body of water, what water was dammed?
What year was it?
1776.
Wow.
That's a nice year, right?
Yes, it is.
It's historical and for other reasons. But yeah, that was the first time that a company, and I'll leave that name out, dammed it and created a milling company that was way before the city was organized, way before the city had anything but maybe one little street going through it.
This is 1866.
Well, we'll take another question that I have, but it's kind of a two-part thing because we were first settled as a
part of Marshall Township, right?
Yep, and then we became a city. Of course, I can't find it readily because it's skipping all over the place.
Well, I remember the bicentennial was 1966.
Yep. So, yep, Millville was first incorporated as a township in 1801.
Okay.
And then as established as a city, or incorporated as a city in 1866.
Yeah.
So that's the two anniversaries that we've celebrated over time. In 1966 is when the centennial, the big centennial as a city. But in 2001, we had an anniversary as well for when we were incorporated as a township. Okay, so do you know what the body of water was?
Sure.
What?
Union Lake.
The Union Lake didn't exist yet. The body of water was the Marsh River.
That's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So originally it was they created a dam, and the Union Mill Company was who dammed it.
Is that how they got the term Union Lake?
And first it was called Union Pond.
I see.
Because it was real small. It was way up at the head of the lake.
Right, yeah.
And that was the first one. And then later on they built the one that we know now. Well, they built one before the one that we know now. But in 1987, the current one was built.
Oh, is that when it was?
Yeah.
But I learned to swim. What was I swimming in?
You were swimming in Union Lake, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But there was
like 10 years old. So.
But there was another dam before that. That's the step dam that we all grew up with.
Right. Okay.
But in 1987, it was replaced to the concrete one that we see now.
Right. Yeah.
With a spillway.
Yep.
Yeah, I worked for the company briefly.
Did you?
That worked there. Yeah, I was an on-site EMT 1 day a week.
No kidding.
It's a 17-year-old. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
It was a little at the time, a little scary, a little overwhelming, but it was really interesting in seeing what was going on, and able to stand in the middle of the Marsh River at the foot of the dam with no water there. So it was kind of neat.
Wow.
But yeah, so it was brief, but it was interesting. It was it was pretty cool.
That was 1987?
1987, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So another question: what Revolutionary War veteran who served under General George Washington recognized that the land and the position of the river was a perfect spot for a town? He drew up plans in 1795, so before the township was incorporated. What's his name?
Joe Buck?
Yep, Captain Buck. Yeah. It's too easy for you. I thought you were a little worried.
The lake one wasn't. I thought I had that.
All right. So staying back a little ways. What was the date that the Levoy Theater opened?
1927.
No, that was one of the refurbished years.
Oh, okay.
So it did get bigger around that time.
Right.
But it was a small little Nickelodeon type theater.
Oh, no kidding.
Little storefront.
Huh.
5 cents, go in, look at a little Nickelodeon, and watch a little movie. The anniversary is today in 1908.
Oh, okay. Wow. Did not know that.
So, yep. And it's went through, a couple refurbs and additions and redos over the years. 1915 was one, 1920-something. Then in 39, I believe, is when Warner Brothers bought it and modernized it. Had state-of-the-art air conditioning.
Wow.
Put in. And that's when most of it started just being movies then. Mm-hmm. Before it was vaudeville and stage acts.
Yeah, my dad performed vaudeville there.
And then it basically was the same with some, few interior updates through the 70s. through 1974 was when it closed.
Right.
December 1974.
Simon Shervich owned it then?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, a couple other companies too. There was a company that owned a theater in Vineland, and they tried to redo it and modernize it and bring in new type movies, but it just couldn't stay on. So it closed in that year. There was some physical problems that they needed to fix, and they closed for updates, but they never reopened as a theater. They had cut up the lobby and added some storefronts to it.
That's right.
And then they turned the mezzanine into apartments.
Oh, I didn't know
But the
that.
theater was still operating, and that was in the 60s and 70s that happened. But then the theater never reopened, but they kept the storefronts and the apartments through the 80s. But then just basically pretty much got abandoned at that point. And there was a lot of water damage. The roof had massive leaks in it. The floor was wood, so that was only causing more problems. It buckled the floor and caused some rot. And then the Levoy Theater Preservation Society was formed in the early 90s.
And you knew who was crazy enough to do that?
Yeah, Joey Pierce.
I love him.
Yeah, Joey Pierce Jr. and Jeff Page.
Yeah.
And so
I thought they were crazy. I really did. I said, you guys are nuts. And to my
so I had no interest, no idea about theater or anything else like that. I went to the movies. I saw movies.
Yeah.
I might have seen a play, here or there. But one event during on High Street, I would guess maybe the car show or something one year. But walked by the Levoy and the door was open. So I'm like, yeah, let's check this out. I wanted to see inside. I'd never seen inside. The thing closed when I was 4. So
okay. Yeah.
I never got a chance to. And so I went inside, and there's Joey Pierce Jr. So he was showing me around and gave me and a group of others a really, 5-cent tour. And really, I like history. I like Millville history. So I really fell in love with it. So he's like, you're welcome to join. So I've been a member of the Levoy Theater Preservation Society since
I didn't know
1995.
Because I know you donate your time and help with.
Yeah, and I volunteer now for the the actual Levoy and the operations and events and shows that we have. So I've been doing that and been doing that ever since.
Well, thank God for the Levoy, because downtown is dead. If the Levoy isn't happening, there is nothing going on. And every time on a Friday or Saturday night, I'm so happy to see all the cars downtown. And I look, and yep, the marquee is lighted, and there's something happening big time at the Levoy Theater.
It's been really busy the last couple months.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of events, a lot of shows, and unfortunately, because of my work schedule, I haven't been able to attend a lot of them or work them. I'm not really going there for the entertainment or the shows. I mean, really, I am. But I'm working. I'm volunteering there. But so I've had that internal struggle that I've not been able to be there. But I'm gonna keep trying. I joke with the management staff there that they must check my work schedule first and then schedule the shows when I'm working. Most of them.
Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Joey Pierce, unfortunately, Jr. lost his life at Union Lake. He was a big brother, and he didn't know how to swim, and the boy that he was taking care of got out a little deeper, and he went out to try to save him and ended up drowning. And what a bright young man. Unbelievable. He was the one who preserved the Culver School, worked on that.
Yep.
And that was his degree in historic preservation. Of course, the Levoy fit in really well to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when his dad, who I just think the world of, was like one of my very favorite people, his dad and I have been friends for over 50 years. And it was just a horrible tragedy to happen. But the good thing is the Levoy Theater is here because of Joe Pierce Jr., as Newell just talked about. He was there giving tours being 100% supportive of it. And Jeff Page and his dad, they were the 3 founding members of the Levoy Theater Preservation Society. And to this day, we really need to thank Phil and Lauren Van Emden, who stepped up and really helped get grants and do all the things that needed to be done. They worked with me, with Rob Shannon, or Tim Shannon rather, when he was mayor, to do all the things we could. In fact, the city lent some money to the Levoy Theater, and it is the best asset as far as downtown Millville is concerned that the city has, and it's beautiful. And I don't know if you were there when the amazing Kreskin was in town.
Yes, I was.
And I was so impressed the night he was there. He's made the statement that he's been in theaters all over the country, all over the world, actually. And this was one of the nicest theaters he had seen. Sinbad said that to me. We were talking at the Queen Diner one night after a show, and he was saying, boy, what a beautiful place. He said, well, I love coming here, and it makes you feel good when you know it's part of your community and all the volunteer effort that went into it and is still going into it. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And I'll tell you what, it was interesting. Last time I was there, my grandson was performing in one of the kids' shows. 101 Dalmatians, I think is what he was in. And I saw Senator Mike Testa. His mom and dad were there, and his son was performing also. And, it was packed. I mean, that's another neat thing they've done. They have a children's theater where they teach the kids. And
summer camp.
Summer camp. And it's wonderful, and you could just see the children blossom and want to be part of that. I think the mayor, one of her children maybe, is involved with that also.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's a great thing. It truly is. Thank God for that, because honestly, as right now, downtown is not booming at all. I mean, I know it's the economy and the COVID and all those things, and we lost Bogarts, and, Winfield's hasn't reopened, and, it's really the store. Well, that store is there, the one where Incredible Bulk is. There's a lady who has a store there that's operating.
Yeah, there's a couple rebirths or reopenings of some shops. It is, I guess you could say, getting by. There are some other things. Some of the food establishments are doing well, but they also rely on the events at the Levoy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, your major restaurant now is El Guacamole, right?
Yeah.
Where you can actually go sit down and have
and
dinner.
The Warehouse.
Yeah.
Bogarts has, Bojo's has some spots.
Yeah, right. So there are your 3 places where you can eat downtown. Speaking of eating, which I do a lot, I'll go to all the different places. Joe Pepitone and I went to out to Verna's on Wednesday and had a delicious, or Thursday rather, had a delicious turkey dinner. And I saw John LaBasse. Do you know John LaBasse?
Yes.
Everybody knows John LaBasse,
Yeah. You're talking about Senior, though, right?
Pardon?
You're talking about John Senior.
Yeah. He was like the man at Rand City Liquor Store. And just a super guy. And his wife Margie was there. And their daughter is the assistant coach for the girls softball in Millville.
Yes.
Good people. And that's what's nice, too. You talk about the food's not only good, but the company, the people that you see there are really
guaranteed to see somebody you know.
Exactly.
If not everybody that's there that you know.
That's true. Which is really wonderful. That's one of the great opportunities. We're talking with Newell Branin. Do you have some more questions?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to try to mess up again and see if I can answer a question or two about Millville Memories, and we'll do all that right after these messages.
In South Jersey, we do things our own way. We say things out loud, face things head on, and never back down. And that's how we fight cancer. With the most advanced diagnostics, leading-edge technology, and a team of doctors who know how to treat your cancer. And most importantly, we do it right here at the Frank and Edith Scarpa Cancer Center, Vineland, and the Leading Edge Cancer Center, Mullica Hill.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
Vineland, New Jersey is a place rich in innovation and deeply rooted in hometown traditions. The city's agricultural legacy, where brands like Welch's and Progresso originated, lives on today alongside companies producing the critical pharmaceutical packaging we depend on. While Vineland continues to grow, it retains a quality of life enriched by cultural diversity and an abundance of nature's playgrounds to enjoy.
I'm Mayor Anthony Fanucci. We have something for everyone at VinelandCity.org.
Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Welcome back to Round South Jersey. Newell Branin, who's president of Millville Soccer Association, is with us in the first part of the program. We emphasize the registration that's going on right now, so if you have a child between 5 and 18, you can go online and do the registering that you need to do. Where do you go online, Newell?
MillvilleSoccer.com.
Right, yep. www.millvillesoccer.com, so it's easy enough to do. Anyway, we're in our segment of Millville Memories. We were talking about the Levoy and what a blessing that's been to the city of Millville, and Newell has some other questions. 1 or 2 I got, and 1 or 2 I failed. So,
well, these are open for anybody, so comment away if you know the answer or have a question yourself. But one question: who is or what is the name of a Millvillian that was governor of New Jersey from 1905 to 1908?
Anyone want to guess?
And he's buried in the Mount Pleasant Cemetery.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, right adjacent to my family's plot. So I see it all the time.
See, Brad, you're just special. Okay, well,
do you know?
I think Stubbs.
Well, close. Edward Stokes. Yep. Stokes.
Yep. He was one of the governors, the only governor for the state from Millville.
Yeah, the only one from Millville. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we had some other politicians from Millville, though. Right?
Yeah, they did.
Couple.
Yep. Jim Hurley.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I think if you think about Jim, first of all, comes to my mind, what a wonderful man he's been for the city and did an awful lot of really good things.
Ed Salmon.
Yeah, that's right. Ed was in the state assembly for a couple of years and was the mayor, was a freeholder, and went up to the state and was there for a couple of years. And then he was the head of the BPU, I believe.
Yeah,
whatever, so,
that's right.
Yeah.
All right, well, another one. What is the name of the doctor that opened a glass plant in Millville in 1888?
Dr. T.C. Wheaton.
Yep. Do you know what the T.C. stands for?
Thomas Charles?
No. Theodore Corson.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Thank you. I learned something new today, and you did too.
And sticking with that, and this is probably one of the thoughts that you had when we were talking about it, is known as the Dean of American Glassware. This guy started in the family business at the age of 9 and until his death in 1983. The Dean of American Glassware. So when he, not when he started, but later in his career working in the family business,
Frank Wheaton?
He brought in the automated equipment.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So yes, Frank Wheaton Sr.
Senior, right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Frank Wheaton Sr. And then later on, his son, Frank Wheaton Jr., took over. Another sort of politician that was from Millville is this one. In 1941, this guy was named the first administrator of the Office of Price Administration.
Wow. 1941, I wasn't around. Price Administration.
Yeah, it was a new office that was created.
Like Prudential? Something like that?
No, it was a national
I see.
department in the federal government. But so he worked for Washington.
I see. No idea.
Leon Henderson.
Oh, I have heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He was up there. I do remember.
Yeah, he was friends with the president at the time, and that will lead to another question, slightly related. Opened in Millville in October 23rd, 1936. What is the name of the first senior citizens retirement colony that was made in the United States?
I know this because I delivered mail there. It's on South 2nd Street, Roosevelt Park.
Roosevelt Park. Originally known, or one of the names it was called is Roosevelt Colony for the Aged.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that was Mrs. Roosevelt was involved in doing that.
Oh, that's nice.
And
that's still
somebody from the area told her about it and discussed it, and then they found the spot and they created it, and it's been the first one, and it's still there.
Yeah, does well.
Yep. Expanded a couple times since then.
Yeah, they have. That's true. Yeah. In fact, Dick Marshall got involved and helped manage it and do some things there years ago.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Some of these are pretty easy for you. Well, can you name the 5 elementary schools that Millville has and their mascots or nicknames?
Oh, geez, that's tough.
Well, name the schools first, and we'll see if anybody knows or the.
Obviously, Rick Avenue.
Yeah.
Jets. They're the Jets.
Yes.
Silver Run Sharks.
Yep.
That's pretty good. That's
the newer one.
You got Bacon Bears.
Yes.
And Holly Heights. I have no idea.
They're the Hawks.
Okay.
Holly
Makes
Heights
sense.
Hawks.
It would start with an H, yeah.
Yep.
So that's...
And you got 4 of them. One more.
One more to go. Let's see, Bacon.
Think West Side.
Oh, Mount Pleasant, one of my favorites. Are they the Panthers?
They're the Panthers.
Yeah. So I did pretty well.
Yeah, you did pretty good. So and then
one of my best friends in the world is the principal at Holly Heights, is Stevie Saul.
Okay, yeah,
great guy.
And then a couple that we've lost in my time of being a school or a student is
your Western school.
My Western school. We were the Cowboys.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's the only time that you'll hear me root for a Cowboy.
Okay,
so
thank
we'll
God.
just leave that there. Yeah, but it's green and yellow Cowboys, not that other color with the star. And then another school that we've lost, but we still have the building.
Culver
is Culver School. What were their what was their nickname or mascot? It's actually 2. It was Culver School Roadrunners.
Oh, were they?
But they also were known as the Orange Crush because orange was their color.
Oh, okay.
So they at one time actually had the sponsor Orange Crush sodas. So
that's
they
neat.
were called that.
Well, it's interesting. I substituted in all those schools except Silver Run because I actually started teaching full time at Rick Avenue the first year it opened. But I was thinking last night about having been at Bacon, Silver, well, even Sensor. I subbed in Sensor, subbed in Culver. And I got to tell you, a place that nobody ever subbed in except probably me was the on 10th Street, the Cerebral Palsy Center.
Oh, the Shirley Eve Center.
Shirley Eve Center, right. Back in 1963, I was 17 years old, and I got called to substitute. And this was what they called at that time the trainable mentally retarded. Now, I think the more correct term is profoundly impaired or whatever. But I had 10 kids. One of them was older than me. And it was interesting because this kid, I remember him when I was a kid. Of course, like I say, was at least a year older than me. He used to like to urinate on the equipment at the baseball games and on the bus. We rode the same bus. That was his claim to fame. He liked to urinate. So I had him and 9 others by myself. Nobody else in the building. No one except me. There was no office people or anything. And they brought out a pot of spaghetti, and I had to dip that and get the lunch ready, butter the bread, and all that kind of stuff. So this boy, I knew eventually he was going to get to the point he was going to want to, urinate on me. So he comes over, and he starts to unzip, and I ran to the desk, and I grabbed a pair of scissors. And I went like this, and he put his hands up, and he went, hee. So he got the message, don't do that, please. But he would go in the bathroom and tear everything apart. I'd have to go in and pick up after him and all that stuff. Eventually, the poor fellow ended up in, like, the Vineland, or whatever the place was in Vineland where,
Oh, yeah, the state school.
The state school was for women. It was the one across the street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which was
Developmental Center.
That's it, yeah, Vineland Developmental Center. And it was an interesting experience, and I want you to know, I made $15 for doing that job. Mm-hmm. That was really, of course, those days, I guess it was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money.
But I was thinking about every single school, Wood, Culver, Sensor, Bacon, that were open at that time. Western, I subbed in every one of those, and the junior high. I never got to sub in the high school because I was too young. They wouldn't let me go to high school.
Right.
Which is understandable.
So you just mentioned it. There was one other school that recently closed. It was actually the last school.
Wood.
Right, Wood School. What was their nickname or their mascot?
Good point. I thought the color was green.
It is green, yep.
Okay.
Green and white.
They
were the Lions.
Oh, that's right. Yes, now that you mentioned it. Yeah. It was funny. My very first class I ever substituted was Catherine Baumhoff's 4th grade at Wood School. That was in October of 1963. Joan Suey Cooper was in the class, and she taught me how to write on the board because I took like you would a pen, and I started writing on the board like that, and it's squeaking. She said, Mr. Quinn, if you turn the chalk this way and do it, it works out. So it did. So I learned from her more than I learned. I was going to college at the time. You had to have 6 credits to substitute those days. I had 9. I took 3 college courses a week after I graduated from high school. So I was certified. Isn't that amazing? I was certified with 9 credits, or 6 credits you could have been. But they were really struggling to find substitute teachers, and especially men, because I did to phys ed for Gordon Scargill down at Bacon School. So it was really, I'm sure it was hard to find men that were available part-time. But I was going to college at nights and summers, so I was available during the day.
Right. So we just talked about Wood School and the Wood family. Obviously, it's named after Mr. Wood. The Wood family has a deep history in Millville, with mills, foundries, and a bleachery.
Yes,
right? Millville Manufacturing was from the Wood family. But what regional convenience store chain has its early beginnings in Millville and the area?
Wawa.
Yeah, Wawa. Yep.
Favorite.
It's all from the Wood family, from Millville.
Yeah.
Well, they settled in Millville. From Philadelphia, but they came down this way in Millville and Greenwich.
You ever been to their house at the head of the lake?
No,
not
recently. I may have been there when I was little in school on a school trip or something.
Well, you know what? When I was the mayor, we had the Jane Christie. It was the tree, whatever. I'm trying to think the name of the title of the organization, but we would go up there once a year for a meeting, and it is a really neat place. Shade Tree Committee, Commission, that's right. And Bob Francois, I guess, imagine the Millville Historical Society, which, by the way, the first bank at 2nd and Main is now housing the Millville Historical Society.
Yes.
Just to let you know, because I knew that was one of your questions.
That is one of my questions.
And but that house that had the lake is amazing. And they had a coffin window. Do you know what a coffin window was?
No.
At the top of the steps, they had a window that opened this way so they could lower the coffin because they couldn't everybody would pass away those days at home, and they would put them in a coffin to get them out to the hearse or whatever. So it was called a coffin window. So when you go there, the second floor,
definitely we'll look into that.
The coffin window.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
So you're talking about, you said about trees, and the Shade Tree Commission, so sort of related. The city of Millville was designated this title in 1953.
Holly City.
The Holly City of America. Yes.
Right.
And
the Wolf family owned the Holly farm.
The New Jersey Silica Sand Company, which Mr. Wolf was involved with, and Mr. Fenton.
Yeah. And
they used to give boughs of the holly tree out at different times, and their customers and then their employees, and that became everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
So they had to plant trees.
Yeah.
And they created the holly farm out of it on their own property.
Somebody one time they saw the sign up at the head near the cemetery, North Millville, near Holy Cross Cemetery.
Oh,
and when I was the mayor, somebody said to me, "This is the Holy City?" I said, "No, it's 2 L's. Holly City."
It's the Holly City of America sign next to the Holy Cross Cemetery.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. So you got any others? We're just about out of time anyway. I guess
yeah, I'll give you one more. Okay. I'm sorry, in the late 1800s, glass workers used an original technique to create a popular crimped flower paperweight. That's commonly known as what now? In the paperweight business, it's pretty popular.
The one with the flower in it?
Yeah. What kind of flower?
Oh, that's right.
It's the Millville Rose.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, that's very popular. Very, very popular.
Yep.
As well. Well, Newell, thank you, buddy, for letting everybody know how dumb I am. But I enjoyed it.
No, not at all. You had
I enjoyed it. Got half, I guess. And it was fun to do. And, folks, I would like to ask that anybody, any Vineland, Millville, Vineland or Bridgeton, if anyone there has a program similar to the Holly City or to the Millville Memories, please let me know. You could come on, and you could have one of your friends come on, like Newell and I do this now. It used to be Terry would come on, Terry and Newell and I. If you, are Vineland or Bridgeton resident, I would love to have a show. You could come on and talk about old-time Vineland or old-time Bridgeton, like we do about old-time Millville. So please just message me on Facebook. I'll be happy to give you a call back. We'll sit down, put a time together. I can sit in the beginning to help you with it if you want, especially with Vineland. Bridgeton I know quite a bit about, but Vineland, I spent a lot of time there as a teenager, so I do remember an awful lot of places in Vineland. But I would love to have somebody from the city of Vineland, 2, 3, whatever, and maybe Bridgeton. I don't know if any of those have their own.
There is a Bridgeton Memory Lane.
Okay,
it's very similar, and they were active as last time I knew.
The fellow that passed away, the dentist Feinstein, on with me
one
time.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
I think he's the one that created that.
Okay, and he
was definitely involved in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So again, please, we're open. We're not just trying to hog this thing for Millville. We'd love to have anybody from Vineland or Bridgeton that is interested in coming on and reminiscing, talking about the good old days in Vineland and Bridgeton, or anywhere in Cumberland County for that matter, in Morris River, Commercial, Lawrence, Hopewell, wherever you'd like. We'd love to have you. For Newell Branin and my special producer, George Cuccia, I'm Jim Quinn. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again real soon. Take care. Good night.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.